Welcome to Women in Paint. Whether your paint story is dripless or an old school mix of project management, business ownership, or modern estimation, the stories of women in paint are now part of the industry's rising success. We'll educate, encourage, and promote diversity and gender equality by giving you a behind the scenes look at our proven skills, business acumen, and driving force that propels anyone to find meaningful opportunities and a career path that challenges lives through paint. Now let's welcome your host, Michael Cheney.
All right, we are back in action today, and I've got Monica Madera on with me from Urban Painting Company. By the way, I love the name of your company. You've got a sweet website. Monica, welcome to the show. You ready to get this started?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm excited.
All right. Yes, let's do it. So, one of the most fascinating things for me, and, I think others, is really just hearing stories of these badass women like yourself in our industry doing their thing, hearing the mission. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So why painting? How did you get into this industry, and why urban painting? Go ahead, lay it out for us. Let's get started right there.
Yeah, I always say that I didn't choose painting. The industry actually chose me.
Yeah.
I actually started doing some remodels with a friend of mine because I had a weird schedule at my job at the time. And I had like 2 free days during the week. So I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? Everybody's working, and stuff like that. So I needed to find something to do to stay busy. And then my friend was like, hey, well, I'm doing some remodels. You can come and help me out, So I started doing that, and I just fell in love with it. It was like we were always like at different places, meeting different people, like everything about it. It was just like, well, I'm not at the same place every single day, like this is great. So I decided to leave my job, and that's how I started in painting.
Nice. So you like the variety of clients, of environments, and then you kind of got into painting. Now I know that your team is like super important to you, and one of kind of I think the staples or the threads that run through your business is your team. So talk about your team and the importance and why that really is a motivating source for you.
So I think like if to me it's like if you take care of your employees, they're gonna do the same for you. So we always try, like to understand people. Everybody has like different needs, everybody has like different purpose also. So understanding those things and trying to accommodate those things, like within the business, like I think once you hit that and understand that and help out in that way, like that you're gonna get something in return without even asking for it.
For sure. So let's kind of take it back a bit. And by the way, you're in Utah, Salt Lake City.
Yes.
There's not too many female contractors, painting contractors there that we know of. You
Right.
said maybe there's one other. But talk about, where did it all start? Did it start in Utah? How did you end up getting to Utah? If you wouldn't mind, kind of take us back, where you're from, all that good stuff.
So I started doing painting in Texas. I was in Dallas, Texas, and it was like I started with my friend, then I moved to another company, and then I became, like foreman, project management, and stuff like that. I had a really good connection with the owners, and they teach me like how to read plans and all of this, blah blah blah. I learned more about like the business side of it as well. And then I actually had some friends here in Utah, and I was like, well, we don't get the snow in Texas, so I'm gonna go check it out. Like I came, I think it was on a holiday weekend, and I just fell in love with the mountains. I couldn't stay away. After that, it was like I actually came to visit for like 3 more times, I will say. And this happened like within like 6 months. I was like, I think I just need to move over there. I was like, I really liked it. I like the outdoors and stuff like that. So it kind of made, like sense
Yeah,
for me to move here, because Utah has everything that I dreamed of, I guess. So that was the changing point in my
that's
life
cool.
when I decided to come over
Yeah.
here.
So I'm from Columbus, Ohio, and we get snow here and stuff. So it's funny because I always hear people saying I need to get away from the snow and the cold,
Yeah.
and people in Ohio are try to go south, and then we've got folks like you who are like, actually, no, I want to get closer to the snow in the mountains. So that's yeah. When I hear that, it kind of makes me chuckle inside. You grew up in Mexico, right?
Yes, I'm from
Was
Monterrey,
it
Mexico.
from Monterrey, Mexico? What was it like growing up in Mexico? Were you exposed to like construction and painting and things like that?
I wasn't. However, when I was in high school, I took like this kind of like architectural class, and I was really good at it always. So I always liked, like working in plants and stuff like that.
Cool. So you moved to Utah. And by the way, I've never been to Utah. And I hear people say all the time how beautiful it is, the mountains and all that. So maybe sometime I can come out there and
Yeah.
visit. So you moved to Utah, or yeah, and you start a painting business. What did it look like in the early days? How'd you get a client? Were you the
Well,
painter? Tell me what
when
all
I
that looks like.
when I came over here, I started working with this company, but we were only doing like new construction. So I was like, I told my boss, I was like, hey, there's so much to go after, because people sometimes they buy houses, they don't like the colors, they
Hmm.
make additions to their houses and stuff like that. So I was like, we should be going like after that market. And I was like, I was always like trying to go after more. Well, I think he was like comfortable where he was at, and I was like, I didn't see myself like staying in that place, because he was kind of like holding me back to
Mm.
like to explore more. I like learning a lot, so I was like, I think I need to move from here, and just make like my own company and go from there. So
Had you, as you're taking this leap, like, do you have other entrepreneurs in your family? Do you have like friends that are entrepreneurs?
I have
What was that?
friends.
Yeah.
I have friends, a lot of friends actually, here in Utah that they're business owners, and like talking to them and stuff like that. Like it was also almost like uh, the social pressure of my friends. Like, why don't you open your
Yeah.
own company? Like you're doing everything for this other person. Like, why don't you go do it on your own? Like, like if you need any help, like let us know and we're here to support you. So
That sounds exactly like a group of friends that are business owners. Because
yeah.
I feel like I'm one of those people that say that to my friends who are in a bit, working for someone else, but they got that entrepreneurial spirit. So that's super dope. All right. Was it scary to take the leap? You're working for a company that is taking care of all the things. Was it scary to take the leap? And if so, how did you talk yourself into it?
So it was scary, it's just like you're walking into the unknown. So it's like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing like next week and stuff like that. But I think if you have like discipline, if you have like actually the desire to make something happen, to make a change, in your life, in people's life, like that all that together is like it will make it happen without even like um having to like, I don't know how to say it, like without having to actually like make it happen, like things come
Yeah.
by itself.
Well, it's like so one a business coach that I used to work with, she would say to me is the train has already left the station, right? Like I've already been thinking about this. I've already been, putting work in, the work that I know how to put in, I'm doing. The train has already left the station. And if you're willing to bet on yourself, I feel like there is this energy, not to get too woo woo, but you put those things out into the world. You literally can call these things into your life. And I think that's kind of what you're touching on.
Yeah.
And so what happened? How'd you get your first job? How, were you the painter? Like how does this go from you're working for someone, you drop that, and now you are Urban Painting Company? Build that out a little bit for me.
Well, I obviously, when I first started, like I was doing like the jobs myself, because I was like, well, I need to build, like my reputation and stuff like that. So I think when you want things to go right, like you go and do it yourself because you're gonna take care of them and stuff like that. But as you grow, then that's when you start bringing people in, right? So I was like, okay, well, now we need to get, like some painters and stuff like that. So that's how it went. Like, I'm still like involved in the projects. I'm pretty much like the estimator and project manager of my company. So I try, even if it's a smaller job, I still step in and say like, hey, if you need help with anything, like I might not be as fast as you are, but like I can help out.
Sure,
and i think
sure.
and i think my painters respect that, because like if they see that I know, like what they're doing, like they really say like, oh well, yeah, she's actually a painter.
Yeah,
So
yeah. You don't just talk the talk, you can walk the
yeah,
walk. So you start this company. How long ago was this, by the way? Give us a time frame on this.
this was 2 years ago.
Okay, so you're fresh into the business still, but you've already got a structure where you've got painters, you're the estimator, you're the project manager. I think that's pretty amazing. And so what does it look like today? You mentioned that you're pretty active on job sites, you're willing to jump in. What is your kind of setup? How many painters do you have? And then we'll maybe talk about kind of what your day-to-day looks like.
Yeah, well, right now we have about 6 painters, and we also have some trade partners that we, like rely on when we're super
Yeah.
busy. So I will say that in our busiest season, we're probably talking about like 20 painters that we have within the company. And I like I said, like I do the project management, I do the estimating. So
Nice. Nice. And so do you have a hybrid model with employees and subcontractors?
I do, yes. I think
Okay.
we have to in this industry,
Yeah.
uh, because we get like this, the busier season, the slowest season, like we cannot just rely, at least for me right now, we can't.
Yeah, no, I totally feel that. And you're right, because we've got this seasonal business, especially where you've got a period of time where you can't do exteriors, right?
Yep.
I think you're right, having that hybrid model where you can, during the winter, you don't have to keep so many people busy. It certainly, as a business owner, gives you a little bit of relief. What kind of work do you focus on? Residential, commercial? Talk to us about the workload that you're taking on.
So I will say that right now we do about 60% of residential and 40% commercial.
Okay. And is your plan to grow commercial, grow residential? What is kind of your plan in terms of your client base?
So I think the residential part is where we are actually like doing the most right now. So I would like to explore more of the commercial. So hopefully this year we do like 50-50, because that will help us a lot also with like the seasonal work, like to
Hmm.
keep people busy like throughout the year.
Yeah. Which is more profitable for you, residential or commercial?
Residential.
Is right.
Yeah,
See,
we are.
with my business, we don't do a lot of commercial. Now, as
Yeah.
we're growing, we're gonna tap a little bit more into that. So residential is definitely more profitable. And when it comes to those two different avenues, talk about how do you get your residential clients, and then let's talk about how you get your commercial clients, because this is like a big thing for painting companies, right? Like, where do your leads come from? So how do you currently get those residential leads?
So the residential leads, we have like the word of mouth, which is probably like
Yeah.
um, our biggest take in that where we get more jobs. But I think also like I started doing this. I heard another painter in another podcast that they will leave like door hangers, like I
Mhm.
think 2 blocks away where they were like working. I started doing that, and it's kind of been working out. Like the yard signs or wrap vehicles. Also, like all of that, we try to like really make it happen on every single job. That way we can get more jobs. That way people know we're in the neighborhood and stuff like that.
Right
Now
on.
for the commercial is more like a call calling, like asking people like, hey, can you add us to your bidding list, so we can actually like take a look at the plans and like send you a bid.
I love it. So to recap, you're getting most of your residential from word of mouth, but now you're getting into the door hanger game, which is amazing. You've got your yard signs going and you're seeing some momentum from your door hangers and yard signs. And now commercial, you're right, it's a different animal. So you're cold calling. So when you call, give me an idea. What do you say? One, no, let's do this. How do you find these people? And then when you call, are you the one calling?
Yeah.
And my last question here is when you call, do they take you serious? And I'm going to tell you why I'm saying this. But first of all, build that out for us, because a lot of people want to get into commercial. They don't know how. You're just
Yeah.
picking the phone up and calling. What does that look like?
Well, I think right now it's actually easier to, like to get with those people. But I can tell you like what makes us different than everybody else. It's like once we get into their bidding system, it's like we actually go and ask them to have lunch and sit down with us so they can meet us in person. That's
Yeah.
what makes us different than everybody else, because everybody else they're probably just asked to be added, as their subcontractor, but they don't tell like that extra step to actually meet with people. And if you think about it, like nowadays, like people don't really get together with people, but at the end of the
Right.
day, people
Yeah.
want to work with people, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's what set us apart from other companies, and it's been working out great for us.
Yeah, because you're right. Otherwise, everyone's just comparing numbers, right?
Yes.
So you're taking the step to meet with people in person because at the end of the day, it's about building relationships, especially in the commercial sector. We work with a lot of remodelers and designers, and it's the same kind of concept. Okay, so you're meeting with these folks. So when you call and you pick up the phone, what do you say? What does that first call look like? What are you saying to just get their attention? And do they just add anybody to the bidding list? What does that look like?
So I actually give him a call and I'm like, hey, this is Monica Madera with Urban Painting Company. I would like to invite your estimating team to have lunch with us so you can meet us, so you can know more about our company, what we do. And more than anything, we want to ask you what you need from us, like so your jobs can go smooth. And that
Yeah.
right there, they're like, oh, they're actually thinking about, like my issues during a job. So we take notes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, well, this is important for this person. Let's make sure that when we bid a job for them, like we add this on our bid so they know that we actually listen to them.
That you're paying attention. So you're
Yeah.
basically asking them, what are their pain points? What are the
Yes.
other painting companies you work with? What are they not doing? What are the things that your project manager has to keep coming back to and correcting? So I love that. And it sounds like it's working out for you.
It
Um,
is.
so let's talk about hiring. You've got some employees, you've got some subcontractors. How did you find your employees? How's that worked out for you?
So I think just by training, I actually think that there is more important when you find somebody who has like a good attitude. Like you can hire, like I always said, that you can find the best painter in the world, but if they don't have a good attitude, like that doesn't really do anything for your business. as the post that you can find somebody with a great attitude, like that person is teachable. Like you can teach them how to paint, you can teach them like how to run a job and stuff like that. And that's again like help is been helping us out.
Love it. So you're hiring for character. We have a phrase in my business. We
Yes.
say we hire for character, we train for skill.
Right.
Which brings me to my next question, because this is what a lot of people struggle with. You bring a new painter on, how do you train them? Do you have a setup? You have the skill of being a painter, so potentially maybe you train, but what does it look like if you bring somebody new in? How did they get trained and then become part of the team?
Well, working with them, like we have like this we have a scale of painters, like, hey, okay, this person doesn't have like any skills, or this person comes with this background and stuff like that, and we go from there. But like if we hire a person who has experience, I always tell them like, hey, I know you have experience, but this is the way we do things here, and
Yeah.
we're gonna have to follow it.
Yep.
If you think you can do it, like, welcome to the team. But if you already think that no, like, let's not waste each other's time.
Yeah. Right. Like if you already know it all
Yeah.
and you're not willing to do the way that we do it, then it's not going to be a fit. And you just tell them that up front, it sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also like, and I always tell people like, since we relying in Google reviews nowadays for all services. And I'm
Yeah.
like, just go into our Google reviews and you will see my name on it, like on all those 5-star
Yeah.
reviews, because we take care of our clients, and we want, if we want you to be on that, like, spot that they, if let's say that your name is Carlos or something like that. Like, we want to see Carlos in the Google reviews as
That's
well.
right. That's right. Now, what about subcontractors? How do you bring them on? Does it look the same? Does it look different? How do you find them?
So on the other companies that I was working with, like, I made a lot of connections with painters, and like
Yeah.
I always tell them like, hey, same thing, you just like your painter, like, I know things are not gonna be pretty, like, until we get on the same level. We're gonna work it out. I'll do my best to support you, but I also need the same from you. Like, I'll be here 24/7, but I also need to see you. Like, having the attitude to make
Yeah.
this work for the both of us, and it's gonna be great. Like, for the both of us. So.
Do you ever find that because you're a female that people, is there a respect issue ever? Do you have to earn respect? Do you think it's just given? Is there any caveat here that you being a female has a disadvantage in your eyes?
It does has a disadvantage. I feel like we have to work twice as hard, as a guy that comes
Yeah.
and gives a bid, or like, that is somebody that's trying to earn this client. It's always harder for us because they're like, oh well, there are not too many of us, But once they get to know us again, like, and they get to see our work, it's like it's like totally different than working with a guy. Number one, because we're like so focused on details,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's like we like to see like our job sites super clean. So we really make emphasis on those things. And that's when people start seeing like the difference between working with, like, these other people, than working with us.
Right on. I kind of usually think of it as a double-edged sword, right? Like I think you're right. Like we have to prove ourselves.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like some of the fellas, they just get the grace of, oh, they probably know what they're talking about. But it's like we have to really let people know, hey, I know what I'm talking about here. And that can be a disadvantage or cause us to work harder. But then sometimes on the advantage side, I think that people automatically think because we're females, we are better with detail,
Yeah.
and maybe we are, maybe we're not, right? That we are probably cleaner. We have a different feel and a softness to even our presentation.
Yeah.
A lot of times the females are the people in the household that are meeting with the estimator. And so I think that there's a level of trust and connection that can be developed a little bit faster when you have a female estimator. So even on my team, we've got a handful of estimators, but I make sure our female estimators honestly do better for residential. So I think, we can use that to our advantage.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your tech stack. Okay. So what systems are you using? What do you do for your estimates? What are some things that you're using that work really well that other people might need to hear about?
So I think this year, last year, we were using a software, and I kind of felt like my estimates needed more of a presentation, more than anything else. I was like, hey, I think this could set us apart from other companies. Like now, everything it's like breaking down, like on our estimates. Like we include pictures of the on the estimates as well. But we also add like a post cleaning, like after we're done with the job, like we put it in our estimates that we're gonna clean up after we're done. That way people see that, hey, like this other painter is offering this, like we
Wow.
also include like uh, take a look at what our other clients are saying, like we come up now with our folders with our insurance license and all that. I even include like a sheet of see what our clients are saying in case people don't have
Mhm.
Google accounts, because we work with elder people and usually they don't
Yeah.
want to get into those things. So we just include all that way people like have it right there in their hands.
Nice. So what program are you using for your estimating? Is it a spreadsheet you created? Are you using one of the painting estimating
I'm
programs?
So right now I'm using Joist. I think
Oh, yeah.
I think this year we're gonna move from that to more to like a
Okay.
Paint Scout, like
Yeah.
software. Um, I don't know if that's what we'd use so far. That's the one that I've seen that it works out pretty well, and it shows pretty good presentation. So I think that will help a lot.
Sweet. So you've got Yoast, but is it Yoast? Yoast?
Joist, yes.
I've seen it. I've never actually used it. And then you're thinking about moving over to Paint Scout. I use Paint Scout. I love it. You're
Yeah.
right. The presentation piece on there is legit. And then any other programs like Slack, Monday.com, anything else you're using in there?
Well, we actually just use our Drive, like our Google
Yep.
Drive. We
Yep.
have like all the communication goes through that. We obviously have workspace, so all the chats go between those. We have the schedule in there. We use still like our Excel sheets. I kind of find that some of the painters are like not very not they're not like really software friendly.
They're
So
not
I
like
try,
tech savvy.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I try to make it, like simple for them as well. And I'm like, hey, if you think I mean, I'm not opposed to Slack or anything like that, but it's just that the people that we're working with, they're having a hard time. So I try to make it like very simple for them, because
Sure.
to me, like if they're great at the craft, like that's
Yeah.
what's is important to me. So I might be able to work some things around. However, like we need to sit down and show you how to use it, so you're actually using
Yeah,
it, because this is gonna make your job easier as
for
well.
sure.
So yeah,
What about clocking in and clock out? How do you track hours? What's your system for that?
we use T-sheets for that. I can't remember what it's called now. We've been using it forever. So
Same. I still call it T-sheets. Now it's part of QuickBooks,
yeah,
but I
quick
still call it T-sheets. My whole team calls it T-sheets. So yeah, I like T-sheets as well. Any other tech pieces in there that are worth
company cam.
mentioning?
Company cam has been helping a
Oh,
lot.
yes, love Company
I
Cam.
tell the guys and the girls always like, hey, if we don't have pictures of it, it didn't happen. It wasn't there. So
Yeah. Okay, good deal. Yep, love Company Cam. All right, awesome. Well, I told you our time was going to go fast, but I got just a few more things for you. So you're a business owner. You're doing this. It sounds like you take good care of your people. You've got high expectations. You care about your customer experience. what do you do? What does Monica Madera do to take care of yourself so that you can show up every day for your team, right? So that you feel rested. What is it that you do to take care of yourself so that you can make Urban Painting Company the success that you want?
Well, again, like moving to Utah, it was just to be closer to the mountains. I like
Yeah.
snowboarding, so right now, that's what like takes me away from the office. I like hiking as well. During the summer, that's basically what I do. But I also another thing that I started doing is I started doing like therapy. Like because I want to be a better
Yeah.
a better leader. I want to be a better CEO for my company, and I want to be better just as a person.
Yeah.
So that really helped. It's been helping out, even if just to vent to somebody, like on the stuff that maybe you're like you find it hard to talk to your friends or something like that. That helps out.
Yeah. You are preaching to the choir. Listen, I spent lots of time in therapy, unwinding many things in life that have taken place, and I'm with you. It is I think, for me, and I'm gonna just guess here that you can relate, but when you have aspirations of growing a business and you want to take care of your people, like at some point you realize that you got to turn some of that inward, and you got to make sure that you got yourself on point so that you can be that strong foundation for the
Yeah.
team. Last but not least, is there anything that I didn't cover? Anything else that you want to share? Whether it's books you like reading, you've talked about snowboarding, anything else that kind of gives us another insight into Monica and urban painting?
No, I think that's about it. I'm really passionate about what I do. Like I try to educate myself. That's another thing that, like a lot of people don't do.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I went to Expo, I was like, oh my God, like this is the place where I wanted to be. Like
Yeah,
it was a great experience, and yeah, like I look forward, like even bringing some of my team members with me so they can see it, they can uh, get inspiration from it, and that way we all are like going towards the same like vision that I have.
that's right. We got to give a shout out to the PCA, the expo, which is where I met you in Colorado Springs. We've got the Women in Paint event coming up in October in Nashville. First of all, who doesn't want to go to Nashville? Second
Yeah.
of all, you'll be able to connect with people like Monica and, of course, myself. So let's, keep putting the word out there on the Women in Paint event in Nashville. Monica, I want to thank you for joining. I'm, super just pumped that I got to spend a little bit more time with you because we didn't get to really connect too much in Colorado. But thanks for joining me. And for everybody else, we will see you right back here next time on the Women in Paint podcast.
Thank you for joining us on Women in Paint. We hope you feel compelled to follow your own path and use your compassion, strength, and skills to build a career in the paint industry. And if you like this episode as much as we did, give it a simple click to subscribe so we can invite you back to our next episode. And be sure to share it on all your socials. Remember, Women in Paint, stir up more than just a can of eggshell.